Recording? Okay. We are good to go. Let's get rid of... Actually, no, we'll keep that for now. Okay. So... Heading down into turn 1, in the Macca and most other cars, this can be fairly tricky to get it right, as your marker, like your reference is the 100 board, but it's never the 100 board. If you're braking at the 100 board, you're going too deep. I hit the brakes probably about a car length before, so about here for me is when I'm hitting the brakes, so that's what I'm looking at. My reference here, what I think about is if I brake early, like if I'm thinking to brake early, so by here I'm thinking let's brake, and as I react to that, that makes me to brake here. It's only like you just have to sometimes put in your reaction time into your reference. So probably here is about my, I don't know, that's probably about the time where I go, okay, let's go, get on the brakes. Now I'm on the brakes, hard on the brakes, using all the track as well. Keep in mind on the entry. So all the way over to the left on the green stuff, down the gears. Now I want to use as much of this inside curb as you can. Like inside wheels on the green stuff. Stay off the grass, obviously. I shift up to third as the Macca likes the acceleration out of it. And then trying to stay to the right as much as you can so that we can get to this left a little bit easier. This left, you want to hold throttle. So if you look at my throttle inputs down on the bottom right, I never leave throttle fully. And I'm using this whole curb, so I actually get up on all four on this curb here. So you really want to abuse this curb, but you don't want to go over the red and white. If you go over the red and white curb, that's our track limits. But making sure we're using all this curb, it straightens off this a little bit more. Sometimes you can get a bad bounce here. My goal is to never end up on this this green or AstroTurf, as it can be really, really slippery. There's been times I've been shot into the left-hand side wall here. In any conditions, I prefer to stay off it, but can use it. This is probably one of the runoffs I prefer not to use, though. Now, heading into... I don't know what this corner's called, but an annoying corner is what I'm going to call it for now. My reference for here is... So this first Pirelli board, I don't personally like using movable objects, but that's what's easily available to me. I think for this particular lap, the point for me to get off full throttle was just before the end of this gravel trap on the right. So, yeah. So, as I've got to the end of this gravel trap on the right, I'm starting to come off throttle. Now, I come off throttle really quickly and graze the brake. I'm not sure whether we can see that. That's too far back, Logan. But right here, you can see I'm grazing the brake very slightly. Like, only... I'm going to slow it all the way down, like literally 5%, not even, down here. Just that little bit. That gets the front, that allows the car to turn in a little bit more and allows me to get on the power nice and early. I'm already back on the power, feeding it in. Now I'm flat, and I'll hold flat all the way out of the corner and just let it roll all the way out. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions for those first couple corners? Especially this long right can be very tricky. If there's no questions, I'll quickly move on. Okay, heading into turn 4, I think we're in now. Heading into Repsol. I know the name of this one. This one's called Repsol because of the sign. I'm braking just before this last white line. Other cars will be on it. Other cars may even be after it. my goal is to shoot towards the inside. As you can sort of see, I'm pointing towards the inside curb here to make the corner more of a V'd corner, so I can get a better exit. Again, using all of the track, staying all the way over to the left, not getting on the green as that'll be a track limits, but having my right hand side tyres on the red and white curb is completely fine. Braking down into 2 for the McLaren, trail braking all the way in, using the inside curb as a little bit of extra rotation. On the power, nice and early. This is a really easy spot, especially for the McLaren, to lose the rear. And so just sort of hold it. If I go on board, you'll be able to see me making minor adjustments as I can feel the car moving around underneath me. But this is a very high commitment corner, as I've found. I'll run it through quickly at full speed so you can sort of get an idea. Hitting the brakes on the white line, turning it in, hit the brake, getting on the power, and then coming out of it. The more you can stay to the mid-track to the right here is sort of better, as it allows you to set up for this next corner nicely. Which this corner is very tricky to get right for braking. Now my reference is always the rubber marks on the curb, or if you have a good eye, if you look, you can just see where the track starts to dip down a lot. It's about here, and that's what I'm looking for, especially for this particular lap when I'm full push. That's what I look for, as you can only really see that rubber patch right as you get into the corner. So hitting the brakes at that downhill hard, down in the first. There's 2 ways you can go about this corner. Is you can either do what I've done and make a double apex out of it. So hit the first apex and sort of hug it all the way around. Or you could, depending on what type of car you're in, if you're more of a point and shoot kind of guy, you could send it further, make it wider here, go a little bit straighter, do the rotation in this part of the corner, and then get a drive out. This is just the way I've learned and prefer how to take this corner, to get me the best run out of here. The track limits here, it can be very, very tricky. I'm pretty sure it's just a red and white curb that your left-hand side tyres need to be on. Other than that, that's pretty simple for that one. Turn 6. This one, I hate this corner with a passion. I'd rather drive Paul Ricard 1,000 times compared to doing this bloody corner 100 times. My braking point is the very start of the white concrete on the curb here. And so hitting the brakes here, I think I stay in 3rd here. Yes, I do. This corner you have to slow down a lot more than what you think. So I basically hold the brake to the apex of the corner. Like only just here is when I come off the brake. Let it coast, and as soon as I get onto this curb, I take a little bit of throttle so that the curb will help me hook around the corner to stay to the left, so that I don't go too far to the right. I am still a little bit wide, but this track limits here is very, very, very strict. I'm pretty sure it's still just the red and white curb. I'm not 100% sure. In the race, I would much rather everyone to be safe than sorry here, as you can rack up the track cuts very, very quickly. Another very difficult corner, this fast right. My braking is just at the end of this white as well. For the Macca, I go down into 3rd and then coast through to the apex. Other cars will be holding 4th. You've sort of just got to play around with that. There's no specific way to do it in every car. It can be really tricky. So I've jabbed the brakes, gone down the gear. I use that little bit of brake just to get the front turned in a little bit more. Hit the power, feed it in, use the inside curb as well to help me hook it around. I didn't. Some cars can actually get like all the way up on it. I only touched the red and white part, as if I went up onto the green, it upset the car a fair bit. Down to the hairpin, my reference here. Actually, quickly, I want to go back here. The track limits for this one is again the red and white curb. So just be very wary when we're on the exit here, because it's very easy as well to get another track cut. Breaking into the hairpin, I look for this tree in specific, this last tree before the 100 board, as when I'm in my view, that's what I see. So I sort of line that up and go just before it, hit the brakes on it, down the gears. You really want to fight off turning in too early here. It happens all the time. I stay out wide and sort of just clip the apex as late as I can. If you have a look, you can see I'm still pointing a lot further out of the corner than most would think. The later the apex here you're going to take, the better of a run you're going to take out of it. But as well, you do want to make sure you get the rotation and the minimum speed up through this corner. So I'll play it through again, braking at the tree, staying on the outside curb. In a second, as the Mac just loves the second gear acceleration. Inside, just clip the inside curb, so it was a perfect amount of road there. And I go to max throttle really, really quickly to help with the rotation under power. So that's my full throttle there. This is very close to track limits, actually. Your track limits here is actually the white line. So I'm actually over the white line here. Maybe it's the curb. Might be the curb again. I'll say it's the curb for purposes. If it's not, then it's a white line. Reckon it's going to be this red and white curb. Now into here, for me, I always cut this left. I always put my left-hand side tires into this green part, and cut as much as I can. Into here, I have a little stab of the brakes, go down a second, and coast all the way, and I have a little bit of throttle as I overslowed it a little bit. If you cannot touch the throttle until this little sausage curb here, that's ideal, as that allows you to get as much turn in as you can while holding your speed as much as possible. And then as soon as I get to this sausage curb, that's when I'm feeding in more power. I actually hit the gravel there. And using all the road, literally almost too much road. Now again, this is another really crappy, this is the shit part of the track. Going into here, my braking point is, you can see the rubber patch just there. As soon as I hit this rubber patch, hitting the brakes, turning straight towards the corner, clipping this inside curb, not hitting the sausage curb, just clipping the red and white ripple strip, fighting to get back over to the left, braking at this big sign, down into first, getting it slowed up, making sure I get to this apex, stay to the left as much as you can. Now here, if you watch my throttle input, I take throttle to get to the next part of the corner, and I never come off. I still hold a little bit of throttle to help me come out of the corner. Now you do want to hit this inside curb, but it's very, very tricky with the amount. That's basically all I can take with the Macca, and that will be with any other car. If you take any more, you're going to bounce and pogo, and you're just going to spin, and it's not going to be very fun. But the closer you can get to that boundary of spinning and not spinning, is the better run you're going to get out of here, as this is a crucial corner. It's very tricky and it's very crucial. And then the track limits on the exit here is again the red and white curb. And then this last corner should be nice and easy flat. You might struggle when on race fuel. I nearly stuffed it up there. And that was a 2 minute, a 42 43.255, which was pole, which was the quickest lap in OLR so far in this week's race. I'll quickly run this through in race pace while this runs through. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. But that about does this. Alrighty, that does us for this fortnight's track walk. Again, the lap time was a 43.255. I will get this track walk uploaded to YouTube, and I'll send a link through Gilded for everyone who needs it as quick as I can. But thanks everyone for coming along. Appreciate it. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to send me a DM. Or quickly ask me now. DMs are always open if you want me to have a look at a lap of yours. Same with Breno's. But yeah, that about does us. Thank you very much.